Hello, 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 and welcome to the Marc and Carmen Peruvian wedding adventure trip or something to that effect. Over the next 10-15 minutes or so, I'm going to try and give you a real good idea of what to expect if you decide to come on the trip with us. It's going to be a 9-day trip, which means 5 days. If you come, you only need 5 vacation days, plus your weekends on either end. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into it, starting with day one. Okay, so day one, we're not going to be jumping too high. If we fly through the night and we get there in the morning, we're pretty much just going to write off the morning, get everybody over to the hostel and kind of regroup. If you need to take a nap or a shower or just want to chill out for a few hours or whatever. It's a long flight to get down there. And when you're ready, first day is, choose your own adventure. If you want to come out and tour around, there's lots of nice restaurants and stone-fired pizza ovens and tons of great food and everything else. But we're just going to do some light touring around just from the hostel. A little bit of light walking around. No major hiking or anything. There's lots of ancient history worth checking out, which is all just within walking distance of the hostel. This is a place called Concha. Definitely worth a visit. Ancient Inca stonework that's been built upon. We'll have to go over the whole history when we get down there, but there's a lot to see and do, which is all just within walking distance of the hostel, all within, a couple kilometers at the absolute most. Lots of old churches worth checking out, lots of great photo opportunities. There's the downtown square known as the Plaza des Armes. So yeah, there's lots to do on the first day if you want, or if you want to just chill out and relax in the room, kind of get acclimatized to the elevation, entirely up to you. So we'll start from there and then we'll carry on into day two. Okay, moving into day two. Day two, we're going to be doing some trekking around. Like, this is still in Cusco. There's a couple of ancient sites worth checking out that we're going to drive over to them, but they're really within walking distance of where we're going to be staying. One of the places is called Sacsayhuaman, and you can see from these pictures there's some ancient megalithic building construction that goes back God only knows how far. There's some awesome landscapes worth checking out. This site is very, very interesting and peculiar, and you could probably spend all day there, but we're just going to be there for a couple hours. Then we'll move on to another temple, which is called Temple of the Moon. That's where these pictures are from. Again, ancient stonework that goes back thousands and thousands of years. Nobody really knows who built them. They attribute it to the Inca, but the truth is some of this stuff goes back more than 10,000 years, and nobody really knows who the race or civilization was that built them. From there, we're going to make our way into Ollantaytambo, but we'll stop at a couple of sites along the way. And there's a couple places. This is Tipon. This is ancient Inca here. There's lots of furry friends along the way for us to meet. We'll also be, if we want to, depending on the time frame, we can stop in Pisac or we can stop in Moray. This is Moray here. This is another site that's well worth checking out. And we'll gradually make our way into Ollantaytambo for that evening. Okay, so day three is going to be an awesome day. What we would like to do and what we're planning for day three is to do an ancient ceremony known as a San Pedro ceremony or Huachumara, and this is an ancient ceremony that goes back thousands and thousands of years. But what's super cool about this is that we're going to be doing it while going through some of these ancient sites that date back thousands and thousands of years. We'll go through technically 4 different temples on this day. Temple of the Sun, Temple of the Condor. These pics here are from Temple of the Serpent. And we'll also tour through Pumamarca, which is also the place that we're going to get married. later on in the trip. Anyways, so these pics here, yeah, this is from Temple of the Serpent. This next pic is going to be from the Temple of the Sun. That's the Wall of 6 monolith. There's 6 megalithic, 60 to 90 ton blocks stacked side by each. There's sections of this mountain where it looks like stones have been laser cut out of the mountain and removed. There's stonework and joinery and masonry work here that will absolutely blow your mind, and you'll be left questioning, like, who was moving these blocks? This part of the tour is likely going to make you question everything we think we know about ancient history, because things get a little bit dicey with the timeline of human evolution when you start going back to 10, 12,000 years and see that people were capable of building things that we aren't capable of building today. This is Temple of the Puma, also known as Puma Marca, and that's where we're going to get married. Okay, so if you're still with us this far, day 4 is going to be a lot more of a relaxed, chilled out kind of day. We've scheduled not a whole lot for that day, mostly because we're planning on doing like the bachelorette party. The girls want to go and get their hair and nails and makeup done, or go for a massage, or whatever the girls decide to do, and the guys will probably, we're not going to do anything crazy. We might like rent bikes, go cruise around the town a little bit, and grab a bite to eat, do a little beer and bike tour, stop in here and there, have a pint, check out the ancient town. So there's, it's going to be a day where you can really do as much or as little as you want. If you need, like, we built that day into the trip as kind of like a rest and recovery day. We don't want to wear anybody out, because there is a lot. Like, it's a pretty action-packed trip. There's a lot of stuff going on, and usually, like the way Carmen and I travel, we go non-stop, and then till the end of the trip, and then we come home and we crash and we're dead to the world for a few days. So we don't want to wear anybody out, because we're technically like on vacation. We don't want to run anybody into the ground. So anyways, on day 4, we're planning on like a bachelor and bachelorette party kind of thing. Nothing crazy. We've got the rehearsal dinner scheduled for that evening. We also got to do a little bit of like light decorating and stuff for the reception for the next day, and just a few like miscellaneous odds in it. So on that day, you can pretty much do as much or as little as you want, and we'll get ready for the wedding the next day. So day 5 is the wedding day. So we've scheduled the wedding for day 5, and it's going to be at the top of a mountain called Puma Marca, or Temple of the Puma. Now, we're going to take vans all the way up the mountain, and then you've only got a height, like it's a very light height, where you're going to trek in for maybe 200 yards at the most. It's really not that far, and there's no like major technical climbing or nothing like that. It's kind of a light semi-uphill walk to get to the temple. And we're going to drive, like we're going to pile in vans and drive like 95% of the way up the mountain. We don't expect anybody to hike all the way up to the mountain for our wedding. That's crazy. So yeah, we'll and like there's no rush to get there, and we'll have lots of people and lots of help and whatever. If you need a hand getting up there, whatever the case might be. But it's a very light trek into the top of the mountain, into the temple. We'll have the wedding kind of like mid-afternoon, and then we'll do the reception back. There's a couple places that we're thinking about having the reception, but likely it'll be back in the town of Ollantaytambo. The reception, party away the night. I don't think we're gonna get too crazy, because the next day, day 6, we're planning on getting up early and taking the train into Machu Picchu. So I'll talk a little bit more about Machu Picchu in the next, like with some pictures and slideshows and whatever. But that's kind of what to expect for day 4 and day 5. So I'll carry on with day 6 in Machu Picchu and Huayna Picchu. Huayna Picchu is just, it's a mountain. So Machu Picchu is at the top of a mountain, and then Huayna Picchu is a mountain that kind of overlooks Machu Picchu. And for the adventurous people, if you want to do the climb up to that mountaintop, then I'll gladly go up and take whoever wants to go. I wouldn't mind going back up again myself, because the first time we were there, we were kind of rushed a little bit to get up and back down. Excuse me. So that's what's planned for day 6. I'll go through, I'll show some of the pictures and what to expect in Machu Picchu, and we'll carry on from there. Hopefully you're still with us. Okay, so Carmen's gonna walk you through day 7, what to expect for day 7 of the trip.
Okay, so I hope you guys are getting excited. This is a lot of cool stuff to be done. On day 7, we've allocated that day in the event that we have more than 15 people who want to do the San Pedro tour. So we're not 100% sure how many people want to come tour with us. And so if it happens to be more than 15, we're going to do the San Pedro tour on 2 days. So we'll do it on day 3, like Marc described, but we're also going to do it on day 7. That is Elsa in the litter box, right? We love those kitties. So what will happen is if you do the San Pedro tour on day 3, then everybody else will do a trip to one of the surrounding cities of Ollantaytambo. So we're thinking Pisac, but there's a lot of cool places. Just has a lot of culture and some fun stuff to see. And then if you ended up doing the San Pedro tour on day 3, then everyone else will do the San Pedro tour on day 7. So we kind of have 2 different groups split out so that everyone can participate. And day 8?
And yeah, so for day 8, we'll, depending on what everybody's flight times are, we'll start making our way back to Cusco. Depending on what time people are flying out at, we'll leave early enough that we'll try and stop along the way at some of the sites that we didn't get to see on the way into Ollantaytambo. So it's going to be a bit of a juggling match, like from when we get there and what sites we see along the way, depending on the time frames and how it all plays out. But we're not going to be able to see everything when we first get there on our way out to Ollantaytambo. So we'll miss a bunch of the stuff along the way, and hopefully we can stop in at those missed places on the way back to Cusco. And then, yeah, get everybody to the airport and their flights and whatever. And if you've got a later flight, then we can just hang out in Cusco, and there's plenty of stuff to do in the city there, and you know, we can hang out, enjoy the afternoon.
And there's a great shop there called Suntas, which we will take everyone either on the first day or the last day, so that you guys can do your shopping. They have great prices and really awesome stuff to bring home.
Yeah.
So we're excited. We hope that you will come, but as Marc said, you're not expected to come, and if it's something that doesn't feel right for you, we totally understand. But I think it would be a wonderful opportunity to experience a different country, a different culture, a different continent, really. And we love it, and we just really want to share our love for the people and the culture and the country with all the people that we love. So hopefully you want to come.
So as we said, it's a 9-day trip, and that includes travel time. So that's allocating for a full day of travel to get there and a full day of travel to get back.
Will also be during Valentine's Day, so it's a perfect excuse to go on a trip with your loved ones.
That's right, yeah. Carmen wants to get married on February 14th, 2019.
Because it's our anniversary, and I don't want to learn another date.
Perfect. So, yeah, we hope to see you there, and if you can make it, great. And if not, then there's the wedding in Nova Scotia, and there's no hard feelings if you can't or don't want to come down to Peru or for whatever reason. Like it's a bit of a little bit more of an adventurous trip. It's a destination wedding, but it's not like your typical destination wedding where people go to Mexico and hang out on the beach and get drunk every day, and then not to slam anybody that does destination weddings. It's just this is not that kind of wedding. That's all. And yeah, hope to see you there.
Yeah, and we'll create another video for the Nova Scotia celebration. Later date. It won't be until like August 2019, and we'll make it as inexpensive as possible. But for any of you who have not been to the East Coast or have not met Marc's wonderful family, we definitely want to come because it's a really great place to go. I'm excited about it.
All right.
Bye.